On the show now is Key Baltazar, who's going to be taking on Nate Dorr next at NEF 51 for the vacant bantamweight title. Key, how you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm good, man. I can't wait to see you fight in Bangor for this title. Your first two fights were very exciting. Most recently, you looked really, really good. Improving to 2-0 now as an amateur fighter, and now you have this title fight. Did you anticipate to be in this spot just so soon into your amateur career?
Yeah, I kind of expected it because I asked for it. I also asked to be the first fight of the night against Hannon, and I got that. So I was kind of expecting the title shot. So yeah, I'm happy I got it.
How excited are you? I mean, what is it going to mean to you to, if you wrap that gold around your waist, winning the title? How special is that going to be?
Oh, it's gonna be the biggest moment yet. Ever since I started MMA, I always thought about being a champion and being able to say that I won a belt. So very excited.
Well, tell me a little bit about your background in combat sports. How did you get into MMA?
So I started wrestling in about middle school and kind of on and off. I didn't get serious about it until I was in high school. I started MMA when I was about 16. Um, didn't really get too serious into it until I was about 19. So it's kind of been a lot of ups and downs with it, but it's always been a passion. Always been a passion.
And how old are you now?
25.
25. Okay, so you've been at it for a little while. Have you noticed has Devin, Carolyn, anyone at the gym, have they really told you that you've grown in a certain aspect of your game?
Oh yeah, I've grown a lot. I feel like striking wise, I before I would just be I was just a wrestler. I was just trying to wrestle most of the time. Like my whole motive in MMA was to try to get the fight to the ground. But now I kind of fell in love with the stand up. So being with no stones.
You really showed that in your last fight outside in Portland. Let's talk about that fight over Hannon Sanford. I mean, your stand-up looked great, man. Even Greg and Primo, who was doing the commentary with me, they were raving just about how smooth you looked on the feet. What did you take away from that performance? How good did you feel in there?
I took away a lot from that performance. That's the performance I was expecting to show against Quinn Poirier, the first fight. But I think the nerves got to me, so I kind of walked into that one with a chip on my shoulder, wanted to show everybody, how I really am. So
How did you feel walking into that debut fight against Quinn? Did you feel any different than when you're getting in there? I mean, because you got a bunch of killers at Nostos that you're training with every day. I mean, if I was you, I'd be even more nervous just to go in there and do that with those guys. What was it like just to make that walk for your debut fight?
it was good. It was a short walk. It was at what is it called?
Or
Aura. So
yeah.
yeah, it was a short walk, but it happened really fast. Like I was warming up. The next thing I know, I was like, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" I'm just like, But it was a good experience. It was nice to get the nerves out of that one. So I walked into Portland, the second fight at Thompson's Point. I was super confident. I already kind of knew what to expect with everything and with NEF. So very confident, very relaxed.
How did you like fighting outside? I mean, I guess compare the two, fighting at Aura versus fighting at Thompson's Point.
Thompson's Point was a lot nicer. We got like a little breeze. It didn't feel like all congestion, like the hot air from everybody screaming and yelling. The only thing I didn't like about Thompson's Point is I really couldn't hear my walkout too well.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I still say I prefer indoors.
I'm glad you mentioned the walkout song. What was it again that you walked out to?
Ah, I don't even remember.
Well,
Um,
I
it
have
was
a
by
suggestion
Nas.
by Nas. Okay. Was it "Hate Me Now"?
No, I think it was Get Down.
Get Down. Okay.
Yeah, it was Get Down. Yeah,
You can't go wrong with Nas, but I actually have a suggestion for your next walkout song if you wanna hear it.
I think I know what it is.
Okay, it's DJ Khaled, "I Got the
I
Keys."
got the keys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It that's
it's
probably
a
a little
good one.
obvious. That's probably a
It's
little
a
obvious with your name, right? What do you think of that?
That's not a bad one. That's not a bad one. It's very hard for me to pick because I kind of like to go with how I'm feeling. But that's definitely like a one I listen to when I'm thinking about what should I use next? What should I use next?
Okay. I think it hits hard, man. That would be perfect for you. If I hear that when you're walking out, I'm gonna absolutely love it. Let's talk about just your balance between training and what else it is that you do. I believe you're from Florida originally. You're a military man, so thank you for your service. Tell me a little bit about what it is that you do, your job, and how you balance that with training.
Yeah, well, currently at the moment, I'm just training. I was working up until like December, but yeah, that wasn't going so well just with the scheduling and stuff. So right now I'm just focusing on the fight and yeah, I'm also a student as well. I'm in school as well for business. That's also something I do. But yeah, my full focus is on the fight right now and bringing the title home.
Where do you go to school?
I go to UNH. All of my classes are online, so
Okay. And
yeah,
as far as your military background, is that accurate? What did you do? Are you
yeah.
in the Navy?
No, I was in the army.
In the Army. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
was in the army. I did logistics there. That's about it. I really didn't see or do anything too crazy. Just yeah, in and out.
So you're done with that for good now? You're not gonna be doing
Yeah,
any.
I'm done with that. Yeah.
All right. And goals, right? Like you're only 2 fights into your amateur career. You're 25 years old, so you're super young. Your whole future is ahead of you. What is it that you want to accomplish in mixed martial arts?
Yeah, so my plan for 2023 is acquire the NEF belt, defend it once, and then go for Cage Titans bantamweight amateur title. And after that I'll make my pro debut.
All right. When you look at the guys that fight at bantamweight here in New England, give me a name or two. Is there anyone that stands out that you feel like, okay, that's someone that I'm probably gonna have to fight, to get to that next level?
None of them really stand out to me. I think they're just a lot of wrestlers. I don't really see anyone in the bantamweight division with good striking. A lot of them have heavy hands, but I really don't see really like good technical striking in the division. I just see a lot of wrestlers that just want to take me down and hold on to my legs for 3 rounds.
Mhm.
So I'm excited for most of the matchups at 135. I feel like I'm a problem for most of them with my height and reach and my striking.
Yeah, tell me, what is that height and reach?
Well, my height is 6 feet. My reach is 74 inches.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's longer than a lot of welterweights, which is crazy. 74 inches. That's very good. Is the cut easy for you to 135? What do you walk around at?
Yeah, not bad. I walk around at like 165, 170, but once I clean up my diet, I easily get down to around like 150, 155, and then just like with the weight cut and just training every day and training hard, I get down to 135 pretty easily.
Okay. Have you ever considered maybe fighting at featherweight? I mean, I can't imagine making 125 is even something you want to consider, but fighting at featherweight, is that something, if the right matchup came along, that you would take into consideration?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm considering for my pro debut, kind of bulk up and move up to 145. It'd be a lot better.
Do you
I feel like
feel
I'm
like,
still a problem there.
yeah, no, I have no doubt. Do you feel like as you get older and you kind of grow into your man body that 135 is going to be tough for you to make? Do you feel like in the future featherweight will be your home?
Yeah, I feel like featherweight would be my home in the future for sure.
Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
just
sense.
me personally. Also, I also want to gain more weight. Look better in my clothes.
Okay, well, you look good, man. You look nice and cut up in the cage, so I can't imagine you have any complaints there. Let's talk about camp. Obviously, one of the best gyms in New England, Nostos MMA. Who do you have around you day to day, specifically for your training partners for this camp?
Aaron Lacey, Nathaniel Grimard, Kyle Pufall, um, yeah, pretty much everyone. Nostos, we all train, so there's no specific like weight limits on who you could train with. I train with the heavyweights, so everyone gets work with everyone at Nostos. No hiding.
Tell me a little bit about Kyle Pufall. I haven't interviewed him yet. I've seen some tape on him online, and he's going to be taking on Ed Davis on this very card, NEF 51, for the lightweight title. How is he looking in camp? What kind of a fighter overall is he?
He's a problem. He's a striker. Really, really clean striking. He hasn't been training that long, but he is like years ahead. Like he's Oh my god. Him and Kyle here are just like neck and neck, but Pufa is gonna do really good. He's very, very entertaining, very good striking, very sharp striking, very good cardio. He doesn't get tired. He's in the gym every day, all day. So that'll
How
be a
tall
good one.
is he?
He's a little shorter than me, probably about 5'9", 5'8".
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I've seen him at an event before, and I thought I remembered him being taller. Maybe I'm thinking of Kyle Hill. He's pretty
Yeah,
tall.
Kyle Hill is pretty tall, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Okay. How exciting is it for you to be at Nostos? I mean, really, there are so many elite fighters, at that gym that you're able to sharpen your skill set with. I mean, that has to give you an immense amount of confidence just for you going into this title fight.
Oh yeah, I love everyone I train with. I feel like we do have the one of the best gyms in New England. We work very hard. We have so many classes all throughout the week, all throughout the day, and our coaches are very knowledgeable, very experienced, and yeah, I feel like that gives us the edge above other gyms. We work very hard.
Do you ever hear Devin talk about maybe a comeback fight? I mean, it hasn't been that long since his last fight, but is that anything that has been discussed in the gym?
Not really, but I think for the right price, Devin will step back in
Okay.
there.
I know the fight fans around New England would love to see that.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
NEF 51 key is right around the corner, February the 11th. It's the banger in Bangor. So you're coming to my hometown. What's the game plan? Obviously, you have to be here the day before for weigh-ins, but are you just coming up that morning, or are you coming up a little bit earlier? What's the game plan from your perspective for this fight and traveling?
Yeah, I'm gonna come up there on Friday. I already have my hotel booked. It's the casino right next to the venue, walking distance to the venue. So I'm gonna get there bright and early and just be ready for the fights.
If you win this belt, are you going to go back to the casino and do a little gambling after?
Of course, with the belt around my waist.
What Okay, so what's the game? What do you like to play? Blackjack, poker? What do you enjoy?
Well, believe it or not, I've only been gambling once. So like the one time I did go, I was just playing with the slot machines. Just
Okay.
yeah, dollar here, $2 here, not getting too crazy.
See, I wish there was a sports book here in Bangor. There isn't. So that's my thing. I'll travel down to the Brook, which is on the New Hampshire Massachusetts border, and do a little gambling there. And it never really turns out too well for me, so I probably shouldn't. But that's my vice. All right.
I'm gonna check that place out. I'm not too far from there.
Yeah, it's cool, man. You'd like it, especially if I mean, you can go there bet on the UFC fights as long as you're not in the UFC. If you're in the UFC, obviously that's a problem. But you just get it out of your system now before you get there in the future, right?
Yep, you're right.
All right, let's talk about your opponent, Nate Dorr, 2-0 out of Acadia BJJ. His wins are over Clifford Redmond, Tyler Parent. When you look at him, what kind of a fighter do you think he is? What do you expect him to try and implement against you here for this title?
I think he's gonna come forward. He has a good gas tank. I think he's gonna come forward. Just trying to throw a lot of front kicks up the middle, a lot of jabs. Um, I think I'm gonna piece him up, and he's gonna try to shoot in on my legs, and I'm gonna sprawl hard and choke him out. That's one of the possibilities. I don't really think he really has much for me. I just don't see where he could win this fight, but I'm excited to see how it plays out and see how it goes. But
He
not
looks
him.
to have, just from his previous fights, especially with the one against Tyler Parent, he looks to have, some good wrestling chops. Do you feel like that's going to be where he tries to get this fight, is on the ground to try and wrestle you and just control you and win the position?
Yeah. Yeah, my last 2 fights, the negatives that I feel like I've showed the most were on the ground, even though I'm a wrestler at heart. So I feel like his team is gonna come into this one telling him he should try to wrestle me and get the fight to the ground. But that's probably the worst idea. Worst, not a good plan.
You said you feel like you're going to be able to get him out of there. What round do you anticipate this fight to finish? How deep will this go?
The second round. Second round. I'm in no rush, but second round.
Okay. So a quick night in the office for you is what you're hoping at NEF 51.
Yep, in and out into the casino.
Very good. Key, I can't wait for this one, man. Again, after seeing you in Portland, I had this one circled once it was announced to really be anticipating for this vacant bantamweight title shot. Again, Key Baltazar will meet Nate Dorr at NEF 51, February the 11th for the vacant 135-pound strap. I really appreciate you doing this with me today. Great to have you on the show for the first time.
Thank you.
Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor. Please tell people where they can follow you on social media. If you have anyone to thank, any sponsors, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Instagram is just key dot MMA. And the only thing I'm gonna shout out is